Hello everybody, as you all probably know by now, the Trionfi Della Luna Paradoxical by Patrick Valenza is my favorite tarot deck, is my favorite deck. I am the luckiest person in the world, or at least the luckiest person on TarotTube, right? Because I think this might be the first time this ever happened. A second version, a different version of that favorite tarot deck of mine came out. And I just got it in the mail today. I'm feeling a little bit sick, to be honest, but it arrived in the mail today, so I have to open it today, and I want to do that on camera. I want to bring that with you. I just want to make a point before ripping it all open and getting my first impressions, really, because this cannot be a review since I'd never worked with the Trionfi Della Luna illustrated pips yet, aka scenic pips, that this is a big deal for me. I know that we are all going to see this deck reviewed or unboxed on YouTube a lot in the coming days or weeks, but yeah, I want to say extra special for me. Because before we get into the new package, this is the box that I keep my Trionfi Della Luna in. This is then the Marseille version, and this illustrated Scenic Pips version is gonna be a different type of system, a different cards. But anyway, this is where I keep my beloved evil twin, is what I call it. Here I keep some of the extra cards, or all the extra cards that I use in the deck, the tarot cards. And I made this box myself. You can see, it's very battered and loved, and I think from the new deck I can expect the same court cards, but different minors in this sense. Same majors as well. Don't know which Hierophant or Bacchus we're gonna get. But you see, I get a lot out of these Marseille type pips. I actually learned the Marseille system on this very tarot deck. So it's been edged more than once, shuffled so many times, and yeah, I absolutely adore it. I have videos on this deck up on my channel, but I also have conversations with other tarot tubers about this deck, about specific parts of this deck. I also interviewed Patrick Valenza earlier this year, so I was very, very lucky. And now let's open up the new deck. Here we go. I know some people don't care about opening packages, but I mean, thank you, Patrick. So I just opened the box, took this out, and thought I absolutely have to open this on camera. I cannot spoil it for myself, I just opened the actual package and saw this beautiful thing, which I will keep. I did order two because I know how much I love the original deck. And so first I bought that one copy, loved it so much, realized I don't want to live without this deck. Then I bought a second version of it, which is my backup, which is still to this day unused and unshuffled. Now, I will use that pristine deck, which is still in order, to do a comparison with this one. So you can keep your eyes peeled for that soon. I don't know if it's really going to be a commentary video or just a flip through, we'll see. But yeah, I bought two of this deck as well, just to kind of save me extra shipping costs, thinking I'm going to love this one as well. Maybe not as much as my evil twin, as I keep saying. I have no idea, so we'll see. What I like about this is that I got a witch card. I appreciate that. Wow. Oh my gosh. I always love these horns that he puts on his characters in this underworld. I have an entire astral realm around this deck, or thanks to this deck even. Like those half moon faces, absolutely so cool. And this is then the paradoxical version. This is a card of his oracle, I think, the Even Moon Oracle, isn't it? Love it. ASMR. Okay, that's enough of that. This is the pristine version of the original, now out of print colorway of the Marseille type Trionfi della Luna Paradoxical. I didn't get the very first version, which was in Italian, first version of the full Paradoxical deck. This is in English, but this is what the box looks like. And then we got the moon card, and here we have a little bit of preview. This is the new deck, the illustrated, it says so, illustrated Pips edition. Oh, amazing. And then we get a little preview of the Three of Cups. Valenza. Trionfi della Luna is the Marseille-style cousin of the Deviant Moon Tarot. However, in this special illustrated edition, we bring the pips to life with full pictorial scenes. Includes 6 alternate devils. So yeah, I did buy 2 of the paradoxical ones, not the other option that you had, one parchment paper style and the other paradoxical. I went full paradoxical because I know that's what I like. So old box, new box. There's the sun. And, ooh. 333. Patrick, I forgot to ask you what this means to you. Oh. And that's from one of the oracle cards, from the 10 oracle cards that we get with it. New box. I mean, I know, you know, boxes, who cares, but he did put so much effort into this, so. Are the backs gonna be blue too? Yeah! The exact same blue. Because, you know, I had this thought. Crazy thought. I can mix and match. I can have half a Marseille, half a scenic Pips deck if I want to. Haha! So many options. Okay, got it. Ooh, how exciting. You know how I don't really buy tarot decks? That calls some effort. I finally have some color in my face. So, yeah. Title card. Here we go. We can download the little white book on deviantmoon.com/trionfi, etc. Trionfi della Luna evolved from a series of spontaneous ink drawings created on the wrappers of signed Deviant Moon tarot decks. In this newly reimagined edition, we have illustrated the pip cards into complete pictorial scenes. So, first impressions? Pretty much the same. I like this Fool. And look, I'm just gonna flip through the majors. We know them by now. I cannot believe I now have 3, no wait, 4 decks with the same majors. That is kind of insane. Anyway, I know the majors, so there's not really a surprise there. Oh my gosh, okay. Okay, the Ace of Wands, we know. Up to this point, still the same. You want to see some of the majors? Original Hierophant, Strength, Arcanum 13, the Moon, the World We've Seen, Chariot, High Priestess, and Magician. Gosh, okay. I don't know what to think of this. This is so almost surreal in a way. I think it can definitely, this is a 2 of Wands, can definitely help step into that paradoxical underworld that I've created in my brain. Okay, this is the first card I really like. See that? I like these. It's probably not even really an eye, but it does look like an eye. These eyes and just human features that Patrick includes in his decks, like all the pip cards in the Marseille deck, they also have faces and eyes and mouths and claws, those types of things. It really helps interpreting the cards. Yeah, all right. So we're getting a little Rider-Waite-Smith here, I'd say. But it's so cool. It's cool. This might be a full flip through, guys. Wow. This is my card. This is so my card. For my patrons in the after party tier and up, you guys know. You guys know. And everyone who's been following me knows I am so desperate for the Seven of Wands energy in my life. And this, oh my God. Look at those piercing eyes. Look at her horns. Look at how red and fiery she is. And then she doesn't take any shit. And I even say it's balanced because like she's in between extremes, the higher self and the lower self. And she is holding that rod, that wand. This is so perfect in symbolism. And it is whole in this image. And therefore the opposites don't really exist. This is the true meaning of paradoxical, you know, of what it means to have paradoxical features, or however we're supposed to say that. It's just both ends of the same rod, of the same stuff. And holding that is so powerful. Wow. Eight of Wands. This is bringing me, sorry about the light, this is just Dutch weather. This is giving me use in magical practice vibes or ideas. I kind of like how classic this image feels. Okay, then we got the quartz, which we know, and the Ace of Cups. It is. Ooh, I like the color change already. This is very classic Patrick Valenza artwork, art style, I feel. It's kind of symmetrical. Three of Cups. Four of Cups. Sweet. Very sweet. Wow, this is a beautiful Five of Cups. We can see through the water, and how cool is it that the moon is bleeding as well, and the clouds are crying, and the cups are underneath the surface of the water. I love that. Wow, so much weight. This is pretty cool. Seven of Cups. It has less color than the other cards, I feel. Look at the choices we got now. An eye, tentacles, fishtail, a hand, skull and bones, a type of imp or devil with a crown. Cool. And this flower. Card about illusions, right? A nonchalant take on the Eight of Cups, I'd say. Well, this is surprising. I kind of like him though. I think you can tell. I know that about myself. That might be very Libra thing, I don't know. I like symmetry in tarot cards. Somehow they feel more like tarot cards. Ten of Cups. A couple with kids. Or just tiny friends, maybe. That could be your own personal Ten of Cups moment, right? Just you with your partner and the tiny friends. Okay, well, we know these court cards. Ace of Swords. Let's see what we got. Wow. This is one creature. Crossing the arms like that. Two swords. I'd really say this is a Patrick Valenza take on the Rider-Waite-Smith. Most of the cards, right? But I'm gonna try to not think about it like that. Because I mean, honestly, it looks so different. And also, it does feel like a deck that could potentially work really well for intention work and magical practice, as I said. Because just look at that. You guys know these cards glow under black light, right? Because that can be so cool to work with because the cards actually light up. I love this. I love this. Four of Swords. It's amazing. It's amazing. I feel like I do tend to like the cards that aren't super Rider-Waite-Smith more than the ones that are clearly inspired, like the Six of Cups, you know? See that this is a person or one of the demon friends, the demon creatures of this deck sitting in there in that flower. I think the flower very much is protecting his state of mind, his state of mind is the swords. State of being, of gestation, of healing and rest and seclusion and just really finding that first stability. And the swords are protecting. It's definitely protection magic. I love this very much. The Five of Swords is one of those shadow work cards, you know, because it's confronting, because it shows that we might be self-destructing. That's an interesting take. I like this. Seven. I did a video on the Two and the Seven of Swords, so that's before I had this deck. I think I can work with this, right? Yeah, okay, Nine of Swords. Look at that. It's almost as if they're growing out of his head. Like this person not having any hair, you know how in some cultures, and honestly, I believe that too, and I work with that too, hair is considered a person's strength. There is a person's essence and strength in there. And essence, obviously, scientifically as well, because it's just DNA, right? It feels like this person not having any hair, it's like the first thing I thought was, oh, these thoughts, these negative thoughts, these swords that are hurting him, cutting him, poking him, are growing out of his head instead of the protection and strength of hair. and then so inside oneself, with the hands in front of the face. It's honestly, you could see that as a different perspective from the original Rider-Waite-Smith. Actually, with this card, I'm getting Hanged Man quality as well. See what I mean? Especially in this deck, because the Hangman is a cocoon. It's actually very much Orphic egg type energy. Anyway, I like this Ten of Swords. It's a coffin, but very trick type, like the trick magic. So I like that too. Tricky, tricky, tricky. Quartz. Ace of Coins. Well, this Two of Coins is perfectly silly. It's a balancing act, isn't it? Might have to make a new map with these minors. I love it. I love this. I love the detail. Hellfire being used for creation. Ooh, okay, we're getting old school miser energy in the Four of Coins. And then there's, I don't know, Grandpa Cousin It in the background. Very recognizable Five of Coins. Interesting that we get this brick wall. Six of Coins. Now this is new imagery. That's interesting. Are all these hands, these little claws, are they giving or are they taking? Okay, I like the Seven of Coins because it's one of those garden cards that I love. I like these cards in the Trionfi that show a little bit, I don't know, of the Trionfi realm nature, I guess. Eight of Coins. Well, this is a different type of work. I like it. I like the nuance that shows us the element of earth and how that means that it's not, like in a Marseille, it's a ladder. You can go up, you can go down, but usually we think of growth going up. And now we are actually digging into the earth, because I don't think this person is burying his coins, although there might be something there as well to explore when getting this card, when reading this card and interpreting it. But I think the person definitely is digging it up, knowing very well that this is his treasure and he needs it now. So it's more like a resource imagery. Wow, oh, I love this. So dreamy. I didn't think Patrick could do rainbow. This is the abundance of the Nine of Coins. They honestly feel very much in tune. These more like nature type cards, in my opinion, like they show the garden, in tune with the Marseille deck. Because I know in the Nine of Coins in the Marseille deck, we still get this feeling, because of the imagery, we still get this feeling of abundance and beauty and accomplishment. And now, of course, we see that in this person dressed up like that bird. Very colorful in an abundant garden. I like that the coins then became fruits on the tree. I mean, etc. It's just, I see that it ties into it. I kind of feel like this must have been what the Rider-Waite-Smith, the original Rider-Waite-Smith by Pamela Coleman Smith, felt like to tarot readers who up to that point only knew Marseille. Like, I'm not saying I don't know the Rider-Waite-Smith. It was my first system, and I also it like Thoth and all of that, and weird decks like Crow's Magic. But this feels, yeah, it feels right. It feels right. Up to this point, though, I feel that maybe, just maybe, this might be a deck that I first use for intention work rather than doing actual readings. I don't really know why. I don't really know why. But here we have a lovely 10 of coins. Quartz, we know. Let's look at all of those alternate devils. I guess that's what these are. One of the devils that we know. Oh wait, the original devil was in the deck itself. Look, this is the Hanged Man that I was talking about. And this is the original devil. Okay, the House of God, which is a historic deviation of the Tower card or the Lightning card, which we have right here. I love that. The star, this is the astronomer historic deviation of the original star card. This is the judgment, again historical, second option of the other judgment card with the angel. Okay, we're getting into the devils. Sweet. Well, she looks like a queen to me. Those spikes, those horns look like a crown to me. This feels very much like Disney villain, but then understanding at a later age and in the later, I guess, time, aeon, no, understanding that the villains had proper motivations for their actions and actually sympathizing with them and getting to know them a little bit more. That's what this card feels like somehow. Feels like I already know this demon. I might just be getting Disney impressions because it's quite a large demon with teeny tiny wings. I mean, absolutely. Look at that. I don't mean this in a degrading way, that this is Disney to me, or that this is kind of Sailor Moon. I mean this in a pop pantheon appreciation type way. So cool. Okay, what's this? What's this? Oh yeah, okay, this is that other, oh, what's her face? Disney villain, one of those Disney villains. She's actually really funny. And then we end with this one. Looks beautiful. Has kind of a face of a dragon, doesn't he? And interesting, here we have those imps chained, like we see in a regular Marseille or Rider-Waite-Smith, but here the devil itself is chained. That's so cool. I can use these devil cards in my Marseille deck as well, obviously. Because all the other cards I already own, it's good, like a type way, that I have an extra backup of this House of God card now. But I feel I feel like getting this deck and getting two decks, I overdid it. I feel like I overdid it because I now have 4 decks with a lot of the exact same imagery and colorway and everything. And you guys know how much I like to stick to my classics, my main decks, my ride or die decks, however you want to call it. Let's shuffle the deck without all the alternate cards. So without all the alternate devils, without all the alternate Tower card, Star, and Judgment, and see what card we get. So this is the entire deck. This is 78 cards. Because I need to let this sink in, you know. This was the first impressions. I was very excited about a few of these cards, recognizing some things that I love to see. A little bit less super stoked about the cards that are a Patrick Valenza version of the Rider-Waite-Smith imagery. I love the Rider-Waite-Smith, by the way, but this is just another realm. This is another realm. And it's more, to me, this deck is more than just another version of that deck. It's not a Rider-Waite-Smith clone, you know? I don't feel like any of the majors or court cards of the Marseille deck are Rider-Waite-Smith clones. They are much more reimaginations of historic, before Golden Dawn infiltrated the tarot world, before Golden Dawn inspired, I guess, the tarot world, because I love that stuff too, but it was his version of the Tarot de Marseille, of historic decks. I might get a court card, I might get a major. Let's see what this deck with this imagery has to bring me that's different from the deck I love so much. Four of Cups. How do I interpret this? Also, I have this rule, remember? I don't really read tarot when I'm sick. This might be a deck that I use just for myself, that I use to change my mind, maybe when I'm not feeling all that well, because I just looked at the card and literally got the same hand posture as the demon friend. See that? Like, because my head hurts a little bit. So I think with that also the recognition, obviously, because it's much less abstract than the Marseille version of this deck. Even though I absolutely adore that version, this deck might bring me the most obvious thing, that it shows a little bit more just recognition, is what I want to say, because of the different imagery, so that I am steered in a certain direction, obviously. And that can bring a little bit more safety, but at the same time also interpreting this card just honestly, it can mean also a little bit with recognition, like seeing that in a negative light, or the shadow side of that would be, it's the same, it can be a little bit boring, it can become a little bit monotonous is the word I'm looking for, which I see happening with scenic pips in any deck. The abstract of the Marseille is really what gives that freedom. But sometimes we just click with the deck, you know, and I think I have yet to discover what this deck truly has to bring to the table, but this card is giving me all that. So a little bit maybe of a, this doesn't have to be my new favorite deck. I know that. It's just a gem, I think, in itself, to have the option to see these images, to visit these images that are so different from my favorite version of this deck. I don't know, it's a soothing card as well. It's saying, don't worry about it. So again, this could be one of those decks that I turn to when I'm feeling low or sad, or I need that super introverted, introspected moment to make sense of thoughts and feelings, emotions, and maybe even relationships. This card is giving me, maybe I don't have to work so hard to get a message from these cards. Because no matter how much you love Marseille and like Marseille, you know, I realize with all that experience that I have now reading these cards for X amount of years, the meanings definitely come in so quickly. But sometimes there's just that one twist that you're like, what the hell does this mean? Why am I getting the Six of Swords in the Marseille system? Thinking if it was a Rider-Waite-Smith Six of Swords, that would make total sense immediately. But now I have to search my brain alongside all the other options of what that card could possibly mean. And this deck might reduce the chance of that stress happening, I'd say. So maybe this is a deck without mental blocks. But then again, you guys know I'm tarot-brained and I like to look at things differently and make it difficult for myself. So maybe again, that is part of that. I actually kind of liked the challenge thing that I see in this card. Definitely a contemplating energy. I don't know what else to say. The flip through is coming up, I think. But first, give me a chance to recover from this cold or whatever it is, throat infection. If you're new here and you want to hear me talk endlessly about tarot, then please consider subscribing, because that's what this channel is. I think this video is an accurate representation of what this channel is, except that I have a new deck, and that hardly ever happens. Although, I already warned you, this year could be the year of more decks. But as you've just witnessed, I guess, I like to share my thoughts on these cards. I will make sure to link a video that you might like as well, if you like this one, in the screen any moment now, so don't click away yet. You'll be able to click on that one and watch that one as well. Please do me a favor and comment underneath this one to let me know what you think of this deck, of my thoughts about it. Do you have it? I mean, does it speak to you at all? Are you more of a Marseille reader? Do you see the Rider-Waite-Smith influence in here? How do you feel about that? And I don't know, just comment your thoughts. I want to know and I want to connect with you and I want to know what you have to say. So that's it for today. I'm gonna drink some hot tea and I think take a nap, because honestly, and I'll see you all in the next one. Bye.